a quick recipe on tomato crisps, which are a useful thing to have and a good way of storing tomatoes, and they add different kind of flavors and textures and intensity of flavor to things like salads. Also a nice kind of quite snack to have as well, certainly if you've got a glut of tomatoes. So we need to whip out that little bit there because no one wants to eat that, so therefore it comes out. And then a serrated knife is the best for vegetables like this, because the skins of tomatoes can be a little bit tough. Whip off the end about there, because that's just not particularly a very good bit to eat. It's mostly skin, so you don't kind of really want that. So then we are going to cut about 1/2 centimetre discs of tomato. The thinner you cut things, the easier they are to dry out. But you don't want them too thin because they'll just dry out to nothing. You don't want them too thick because they'll take forever to dry out, and the chances are they'll go off because you won't get all the moisture out of them. So down there to about that. Same with the end. Don't throw it away though. Use that. There's plenty of what we call it, flesh still in there, so that's going to go in pasta sauce. So lay them out on the greased tray. I'll put a little bit of cheap olive oil on, so we'll just lay those out there so they all fit nicely. Just a little bit of oil, and then just spread it all over. And then we need a little bit of salt, not too much, because as you dry things out, it intensifies flavour. So any kind of salt you put on is going to be a lot saltier by the time you finish. So just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, and then into an oven at 100 degrees, certainly for an hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see how we go, but I'll tell you how long they were in and at what temperature when we finished. It's a while since I've done them, so I can't remember. I remember the temperature, just not how long they took. So we'll put those in the oven, 100 degrees, fan on, so the air circulates, and then they should dry out nicely, and then you'll see what they're like when we're done. But I probably think it's not the type of thing you can go out, put them in the oven and then disappear off out like I normally do. If you're going to be doing something like this, you need to be in, because you need to kind of check them, because they go from being soft and a little bit dry to not burnt to a crisp, but crisp quite quickly. So you just need to keep your eye on these. But this is it for now. So these are the tomatoes, tomato crisps after 3 hours at 100 degrees. So obviously some have dried out more than others. They're all still not just ready to come out, although that one's almost ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn them over so the heat can get to the other side. You see, as you can see, they're quite soft. But I'm going to turn them over, and then any kind of moisture that's on the bottom can easily escape. That one's almost ready for coming out. This also, you can tell when they're just about ready to come out of the oven. So they're not going to lead that much longer, some of these. In fact, they're almost done, some of them. But it's just a case of keeping your eye on them. So turn all those. Have I done them all? No, I'm just turning over as well. I think there's probably some hot spots in the oven as well that are dried parts out more than others, because that side's dried and that side hasn't. So there's probably some hot spots in the oven. So that'll just I'm going to eat that. I'm going to eat that now. So that's after 3 hours. So probably 3.5, 4 hours is about your kind of bet to it. The lower the temperature, the longer they're going to take to dry out. So you kind of want that balance of temperature and time type of thing. Obviously, ideally, you can dry them out in the sunshine, but there's all kind of other problems that kind of go with that. So this is quite a good way of drying things out. So this is these for the moment, and then we'll come back when they're done. Go 4.5 hours, all nice and dried now. There's no moisture in those. They're nice and crispy. I'll put them in a sealed container, and they should last, no doubt, for quite a long time. Uses as a snack, or in salads, or if you like things to look pretty. You know, if you want to dress a plate, if you've got friends coming around and you want to look fancy, they're certainly a nice thing. Crumble them up in salads, chop them up in salads. They'll add a nice kind of like tang to things. Just a different kind of thing, a bit of a chefy thing to do actually. A chefy 1990s thing to do, if I might add. So I'm a little bit out of date, but you know, these things people forget. You know, they're still really, really tasty. So something fun to do, and that's it for now.